piece number 6 is a really big pattern piece. It is not possible to cut this piece on 45-inch width fabric that has been folded lengthwise in half. Therefore, this piece must be cut with your 45-inch width fabric spread out in a single layer. With that said, pattern piece number 6 requires that you cut 2 copies of it. In order to do this more efficiently, you can cut 2 lengths from your 45-inch width fabric all the way across, ensuring that each length of it is long enough to accommodate the entire length of your number 6 piece, and then some. I like to leave a little bit at each edge to trim off. And then you can take those 2 lengths and layer them one on top of each other with right sides together, wrong side on top, wrong side on the bottom facing your table, and ensuring that your selvages are lined up beautifully along the left and all along the right. If you're working with a unidirectional print, so the type of print where it really matters which way your print is facing, be mindful when you're layering your 2 pieces of fabric one on top of each other that your print is facing the right way both on the top and on the bottom. Do this to ensure that when you cut your 2 pieces of fabric both at the same time through the 2 layers of fabric, that your print will be facing the right way both on the top and on the bottom. Once you have your number 7 piece and your number 6 pieces cut from your fabric, it's time to assemble these pieces together. So first, let's look at piece number 6, and I want you to observe one edge where you have this large circle, and hopefully you've marked that large circle transferred over from your pattern piece on the top layer as well as on the bottom layer. And on this edge, you also have a small circle up near the top edge, so that's how you can find your way to the edge that I want you to focus on. Now, I want you to go ahead and separate your 2 layers, and then spread those 2 layers flat with the wrong side facing up. So I want you to see how you can line up these 2 edges with those circles kind of matched up in the back. So I want you to line these pieces up the same way, except with the right side facing up. So let's do that. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to flip this piece this way, and then this one that used to be on the left, I'm going to put it on the right. Once again, line up those 2 edges in the center together. And so when I peek underneath, I should be able to see that I have my large circles on either side, and indeed I do. So that's how I know I'm in good shape. Okay. Now comes your number 7 piece. And what I want you to do is open this out. So this piece was cut on the fold. At this point, I want you to open it out so that it's twice as wide as it was when you cut it out. And I want you to make sure that you're working with the edge, with the notches to the top. So make sure that your notches aren't facing to the bottom at this point. So notches to the top. Okay, so place this piece on top of your other 2 pieces with right sides together. Now, let's work on the right side. we're gonna go ahead and match up the entire right edge of your number 6 piece with the right edge of your number 7 piece. So you can see here that you can line up these edges together and they should match end to end. And in addition, you should be able to find your little double notches at the side here that you can match up, and you can go ahead and pin. So I'm going to pop a pin at the notch. I'm going to pop a pin at the beginning to match the 2 tops of those edges. Then I'm going to work my way to the bottom and pin the bottom edges. Match those up beautifully both along the bottom and along the side, right at that corner. And now that we have our starter pins in place, we can go ahead and continue pinning the unpinned segments. So I'm going to take this long area first, and I'm going to kind of use my nails to nudge the 2 edges so that they're lined up beautifully. And I'm going to pick just kind of the center of the unpinned portion, and then I'll pinch that area when my 2 layers are lined up, and then I'll pop a pin right there. Next, I'm going to pin down here. Just leaves this little segment. So I'm going to pop a couple pins in there. And there it is. Our entire right edge is pinned and ready to be taken to the sewing machine to sew with a 5/8 inch seam allowance all the way down, remembering to backstitch at the beginning and at the end. Now, before going to the sewing machine, I would suggest going ahead and pinning your left edge as well. And you're going to do that the same as the right. Once you're done sewing all along the skirt sides, go ahead and take your project back to your ironing board and press open your seam allowances. And I like to iron from the wrong side of the fabric first, and then I like to flip over my project and iron from the right side to get that seam nice and flat. And that's how it looks after you finish your seam allowances. Now there's other techniques that you can use to finish seam allowances. The technique that we're doing today is just a very basic, beginner-friendly way to do it.